Okay, so today we will try to understand RAG, that is Retrieval Augmented Generation. So we generally called RAG, that is said Retrieval Augmented Generation. Okay, now we will understand what is this. What is this? Now RAG is a method where an AI model doesn't rely on its memory. So what we understand, like it doesn't rely on the memory, is we'll understand through a diagram also, but also goes and fetches real data from external sources before giving an answer. So let me take some external sources. Let's say we have databases. So this is a database, and we have some documents because it is not using a general, not searching from internet generally. It is using databases or documents, or you can say APIs. Okay. I just name it here as API. Okay, and let me name here it as DB, and this is as document. So these are the external sources. So it is fetching data from here. So these are its sources. It is going to databases and or to APIs or the some documents which are internal. Okay, and from there it is fetching the real data. So this is our real data. Like company data internal, which is internal, that is not on internet, right? So that is company specific. And let's say user ask any um, query. This user is asking any query. So this it will use the databases, documents, or APIs, the real data it will use, and there would be LLM that we would be using, right? So, mhm, 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 mhm. Okay, there would be some model, right? It is not relying on its memory, right? It is actually using the real data that we have understood. Like easiest way of understanding retrieval augmented generation. Now, if we'll understand it more, then it would be like this drag is equal to, we can say, there would be an AI like AI that AI plus there would be a search engine. engine, right? And for AI, what we will be using? We'll be using some LLM, right? And if we want to understand it with machine learning operation or development operations, then we can understand it as a CI/CD pipeline. So this is CI/CD pipeline, or I'll just take it from here. CI/CD. Okay, fine. Leave it. So this is CI/CD. Instead of deploying with local configs, so what happens in CI/CD? It deploys with the help of configurations, but before the deployment, it pulls latest configuration from, let's say, I just take Git here. Let's say from GitHub it is taking, right? Or not from GitHub, then maybe S3. This is S3, right? Either through GitHub or through S3. It will take the configurations. Configs, it will take configs, but this configuration it will take when there is a new deployment, right? Before the deployment. So I'll just write it here, before deployment. Before deployment, it will take. Now we have understood. Or so that is a RAG system because it is pulling the latest configurations. Let me mention here is latest, not using local configuration. And now if we'll understand why, like why this retrieval augmented generation came to the market. So we have traditional LLMs like GPT. We have, let's say, I'll just have LLMs here. I have this OpenAI. So this OpenAI, this is a GPT, right? This OpenAI company have a GPT model. So this LLM, this particular LLM have some limitations. What are the limitations? Let's say there is some limited time, training time only, or we can say training time only. Sometimes we see like this model is trained 2025, right? So this will be fetching the information or answers based on data it is trained on. It can give wrong answers also, or it cannot access the company private data, right? Second is the private data. It cannot access the private data. So if you'll ask about your company, so it you don't have the access to the in private data of your company, right? So now this is the traditional LLMs. I can just mention here as traditional LLMs, right? Now, what RAG is solving? When I compare it with RAG, what it is doing, it is fetching the latest data. This is one. It is also using internal data, and it is having accuracy also, giving accuracy. So this is what this RAG is solving. So that's why RAG came to market. This is like why we are using RAG. Okay. And if we have to understand it in an easy way, that is to fix AI guessing. Because here what is happening, AI is guessing, right? And this guessing is now turned into, if we'll understand these two, so what is happening here, AI is answering with real data. Now answer is with real data. And from where this real data is coming? This is coming from here. This is real data. Okay. So this is real data, right? This we have understood now. Now from AI guessing, it is answering with real data. Then comes like without RAG is like deploying with hard-coded configurations. Or if we want to understand it um, further, so we can say like without RAG, it's like hard-coded configurations equal to hard-coded hard-coded configurations, right? Configurations, hard-coded configuration, and with RAG, it is fetching latest configuration. With RAG, what this is doing, this is fetching latest configurations from, let's say, S3 before runtime. Before runtime. This is one. Now we have understood clearly. We got a clarity like why it came to the market. Now we'll understand how this RAG works. Okay, so we'll understand the how part now. How? So how is like user ask a question. Let me take a user. This user is asking a question, right? Asking a question, and this is asking a question to to the real data. Like it will search um, DBs, it will search documents, documents, it will search APIs, right? So it will search from here. Now this data, after this data is this particular data is given to make it plus. Hmm. Okay. Um, okay, leave it. So this particular data is given to an LLM. LLM we are taking here, let's say OpenAI, we are using this OpenAI. Okay, this data is given to an LLM. Okay, and now this LLM generate will generate answer using this context. So context it is taking from here, and now this will generate. So if we have to understand, so it is searching in the internal data and then attaching that context and then generating answer with the LLM, right? If we understand it with DevOps, it's like you are querying log from CloudWatch. Let's say if I understand, um, let me say, let me have AWS CloudWatch, CloudWatch, or maybe just search CloudWatch. This is CloudWatch, right? This is AWS CloudWatch. So we are querying this CloudWatch, okay? Querying logs from this CloudWatch. And this and then log passes, then pass this log to a script. Let's say this is a script. We're passing this log to a script. Okay, and this we are querying from CloudWatch. And these logs are passed to the script. And then script is giving us output, right? So this is in the development operation. We can relate it. And now we've understood it. Now let's understand with simple examples. Okay. So examples, let's say user is there and this user, this user, this user is asking my company leave policy, right? This is a query this user wanted to ask leave policy, leave policy, right? The company in which this user is working, he wanted this user wanted to know the leave policy. Now there are two scenarios. This user can ask to directly to GPT, right? Let's say to LLMs like this, right? If he's asking to this, or maybe he can ask to RAG system, right? So this is, there are two ways now. This will give, no, no, no. Okay, this will give it a guessing, guessing answer, right? But this RAG system with RAG, what will happen? This will give, no, 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 no. This will give an accurate answer. Why it will give an accurate answer? Because the DB internal DB documents and API are being used. The context is given from internal data, and it is using context from internet, right? So this is how we can understand it with real world. So this is answering from internet, and this is answering from your data. So this is internet, and this is your data, right? And if you have to understand like Kubernetes, they without RAG, pod runs with default configurations, and with RAG, pod pulls config map and secrets dynamically. So this is like with Kubernetes we can understand. So let's understand it with um, Kubernetes. So one way is default configs, default configs, and other way is using dynamic, like config map or secrets dynamically, dynamically, right? So this is like we can understand with respect to pod. Like if pod is there, one is like we have given the default configuration hard coded, and second is like it dynamically accessing the details from config map or secrets. So this is without RAG, this is with RAG. Now we'll understand where we use RAG. So like we have chatbots in a company nowadays. We see chatbot, we have chatbots, right? So like the chatbots for a company, let's if we want to um let's say I just want to get the company policies, company HR policies, HR policies. So I can use chatbots. So this is a RAG. So this is where we use RAG. Second is in DevOps also we use in development operation for troubleshooting. Troubleshooting assistance. Like we can ask to a chatbot a specific issue we are getting. So it will use the company internal data. It will not guess from internet. Or we also used in machine learning operations. Machine learning operations like question and answer, uh, model documentation, question and answers. So that we can use for documentation. We can use based on question and answer. We have also seen in the model documentation, station Q&A, Q&A. Okay. And we also have like healthcare knowledge assistant, healthcare knowledge assistant, assistants, or we have e-commerce product assistant. Like uh, on the e-commerce website, that is healthcare assistant. Not, let's say if there is any health there is any illness, so it will use the company internal database in the past, like how that illness is being cured. So it will search in the entire database. That would be accurate answer. Same goes with e-commerce also. We have seen a chatbot, so you can uh, use the e-commerce product assistant. Like if you want to know the status of your product, so it will use your real information. It will not give you guessing answers. So this is where we are using. So whenever we are using the chatbots, they are giving accuracy and they're using the internal data, right? So we have understood this, right? Accuracy is there plus internal data. Internal data is being used here. And if we want to understand it with some example, let's say in Terraform we have remote state, right? So it is like always pulling latest external data before execution. So when we run Terraform, right? So what it does, it checks with remote state, right? Remote state. So this is one of the uh, relation we can understand because it is using its real data, the actual data it is comparing. And same, let's say we have Jenkins, right? So Jenkins also it use artifacts from it use artifact storage, right? Storage. It use some artifact storage before execution. So this is before the execution, right? Before execution, it is using this concept, right? before execution. This is using like this. Now we have understood it properly. So RAG is just making AI smarter, right? AI is already there. Like we are using LLM to generate the answer, but the context we are giving from our internal data. So this way AI is being smarter, right? And we can rely on AI. It's giving accurate answer because it is using real data instead of just its memory, right? So this is all about this retrieval augmented generation. Like what is this?